Hey, it's fresh in the flesh with a book club review. Willpower, Rediscovering the Greatest Human Strength by Roy Balmer. God, this book, I know everyone's hyping on DJ Khaled right now. The key, what's the key? Well, if there's one key, I don't like to think there's keys. I like to think life's like a combination lock and you need multiple things. Like a soup, you want a lot of things. But if there is one, it's self-discipline, okay? It's self-regulation, he calls it. It's willpower. He studied self-esteem early in his career, and he found that self-esteem doesn't have as many positive effects as willpower does. He talks about so many things that willpower does. It makes your grades better. It makes you live longer. It shows your higher income throughout your life. It shows, you're more likely to have a successful marriage. It also shows that you have higher SAT scores and you do less crime. I think I just named like 6. It has like stacking of 20 different things. Okay, so willpower is really rediscovering the human strength. So I just had to back that up real quick first. He goes in the beginning of why it's important. I'm going to share with you the biggest ideas I got to enhance your willpower. First things first, grab some food, eat it. Because you might not even be able to watch this if you don't have that willpower to focus on me. So what does that mean? Willpower is glucose. You get glucose from the food, right? The energy, the sun creates the plant, the animals, and you get the energy from them. So you need to eat to get glucose. That's why diets don't work out. Talked about Oprah. She couldn't maintain her weight. Amazing person in many areas of life. One of the most powerful. And it's because she couldn't hold this diet because she was denying the food, which lowered her willpower. She had in other areas of life, but when it came to eating, she couldn't have the willpower because she couldn't eat. She didn't have the energy to eat. So everything's falling all over the place if you don't have the energy. Now, glucose, critical. These are just foundational things about willpower. Get the basics down. Get the sleep. You recharge every night through your sleep. It's like a muscle. It's like a battery. It's finite. Okay? Now, in another book, Marshmallow Test, they talked about if you have that story, right? It's the truth. It's the science that willpower is finite. But if you think you have an unlimited superhero-like superpower amount of willpower, it actually enhances. So I've experimented that, but it depletes either way. And you might enhance it that way, but it's going to deplete. So understanding this science and these ideas, you could leverage it more. So we're going to go into that right now. I got the note. And willpower, I like to think of, you could call power of will, self-discipline. I always look to discipline, doing what you have to do, whether you feel like it or not. There's ways to set yourself up to do that, to help yourself. And that's what these strategies are about. Now, here we go. Willpower. I tatted this book up, as I always do. Lots of good notes. Took the top notes, put them in here, highlighted them. Parkinson's Law. Okay, Parkinson's Law. What does that mean? It is work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. We've all had the college or high school paper we had to write. We waited till the last minute and we got it done. Okay, because we had that time frame, that deadline. Kind of a disempowering word, but it gets the job done. And studies show the work's not as great. So if you can create that time frame early on, maybe I want to get it done before the weekend. I want to get it done today. I want to get it done within the next hour. That's better. That's why you pack your clothes right before you get your plane, because you have like 20 minutes instead of I'm going to pack. It could be all day you pack. So what you want to do is what he talks about here, which what works, is set a firm time limit for the tedious tasks. It's tremendously helpful. So you conserve willpower in the long run. Another thing that lets you conserve willpower in the long run is another idea, which is we know to do. To-do lists. Or what Gary Keller in the one thing called success lists. What that does is it doesn't stay in your unconscious mind that you have to do this. Once it's written down, it's on paper. This is why I keep a journal success tracker. Now, it relaxes your unconscious mind and it saves will. So write things down. Build one new habit at a time. Okay, this is a powerful idea. You cannot successfully or optimally drop 1,000 different habits at a time. It's just too hard. If you try to stop drinking and stop smoking, it's just setting yourself up for failure. It's much more optimal if you just stop smoking and then you work your way to stop drinking later. But just focus on one at a time, and it's going to be easier to do it. If you want to build 5 habits, it's going to be tough. Focus on that one habit. Use all your willpower on that one priority. If you want to work out, eat healthy, on top of that, start doing this one habit with your romantic partner, and then you're going to be reading 3 hours. It's just too much. Focus on one at a time, then it becomes a habit. And habits, here's something critical. Habits don't use willpower. You want to get things to become habits so they can run on itself. It can be on autopilot. So where are you doing that right now in your life? I know I have habits that people think it's unbelievable the things I do. It's because I made them habits. Now I can use my willpower on building new habits. And it's going to stack. And when I'm in my prime, at a higher degree, 25, I'm only growing through experiences in life, but through stacking these habits, I know 3 years down the road, I'm going to be even a stronger version of Dougie. But here's what being a man is: accepting yourself for who you are now. That's going to save willpower. I didn't read that, but I just feel that. I know that because you don't regret. You don't use up your thought process on blaming yourself, on judging yourself, or comparing yourself. Because that's going to cause willpower too. Now, so build the one new habit at a time. You basically want to prioritize, which is another idea. Top 3 main goals of this month. Not 15, not 10. Just focus on one. I've done this. I've read 8, 10 books before. It doesn't work. So you can read, limit it to 3 books at a time or 1 book at a time. Focus, drill on that book, then you go to the next book. You just chop. You'll never get the book done or get everything you can get out of it. So this is the same thing with projects. You have a product you want to create. You want to create 6 products at a time. It'll take maybe 6 or 7, 8 months. If you get 1 done, boom, 1 month you got it done. You could start making money on that first month. And then you do 2. It's much more effective in being aggressive in getting one thing done by focusing on that one thing. Put all your energy into that. Okay? Put all your eggs in that one basket. Wash the basket. Take care of the basket. Good. Another incredible, not even idea, but tool I use and virtue I live is the 2-minute rule. If something takes 2 minutes or less, boom, be done with it. Bang it out. Speed of implementation. Someone says buy a book, recommends a book, you just freaking buy it on the spot. Make that a habit. Okay? It doesn't take that much willpower. My dad might say to do something. If it takes 2 minutes or less, I just do it. Just do it. It's going to be out of the way. If it's a bigger thing, put it aside and get to it when you need to get to it. But try this. Experiment. If you experiment anything, try this. It takes 2 minutes or less. Do it. Okay? Next, willpower gets used through the course of the day anyway. It's going to happen. You're going to find ways to deplete willpower through decisions. Every decision is going to branch off. Should I eat cereal or should I eat eggs? Okay, eggs. Okay, I got to put pepper or salt. Yeah, I'll do both, salt and pepper. Well, then am I going to ask if he wants, you're going to make decisions all day long. So be aware of consequences. Set yourself up to be focusing on the most important things and following the basics like diet, sleep, and versus like dishes and these other things are things that aren't as important. You want to focus on things that are most important, because then you'll be putting your willpower in the best direction. You're going to use it anyway. You might as well focus on what matters the most. Keep the main thing the main thing. That's the main thing. Because if you use up your willpower in a unresourceful fashion, you could be working all day at your job and you're exhausted. You come home and you're not going to be your best self. So this could hurt your relationships from not conserving your willpower properly in a bigger way. Okay. The other thing that can help you is take away bad cues donuts on the way to work. Go a different way if you see the donut shop and it stops you. Or the Facebook browser. Take it away. It's gonna, if it reminds you. So you cut out those cues and put in good cues. Your meditation cushion to remind you to meditate. Water bottles. I got like 5 water bottles in my room to remind myself to hydrate myself. Things like that. These are good cues. Set yourself up with good cues to be a reminder. Next one, huge. Power of positive procrastination. Delay the chocolate till after you work out or read. Delay something you really want to do. Maybe it's you really want to read this book, but you'll do it after you get this task or responsibility done. This way it'll force you to get it done so you can get to the reward. You want the reward to be relevant. Now, this is just a mind trick to get you to do what you need to get done. It's a great thing is, if you can, a vice delayed can become a vice denied. So if you put off that chocolate, then you might not even want it after a workout. You eat the chocolate after you work out, but then you're like, I'm already all healthy, I don't need it. So a vice, something doesn't serve you, denied, could be delayed, could be something denied. Think about that. Like, there could be things you know you shouldn't be doing, that you don't want to do, your higher self doesn't want to do, but you're not at your higher self at the moment, but you just do that one thing that gets you in your higher self, you don't even frequent with it. You don't even, you're like, why do I even want to do that? I don't want to do that. So you can deny it. So that's a strategy to get around that thing taking up your willpower that's not supporting you. Okay, last few here. Put things you don't want to do next to what you really don't want to do. This revolutionized my life. And things that need to get done, get done. So I really don't want to, let's say, there's a lot of things I like to do, but I do this. I'm trying to think of how I do this. For you, let's say you really don't want to work out, but you also really don't want to do that homework assignment. Well, put them next to each other. You're going to get the workout done. Workout's a positive thing to get done. You need to work out. Okay? But then you're procrastinating on this. So take this, that paper you want to write, or that video you want to shoot, put that over here with something you really don't want to do as well. You really, really, really absolutely don't want to do. Okay? That could be writing that application for something that you haven't gotten to. Boom. Now that gets done. Take this over here, that application, put it next to, I don't know, people delay setting goals. Then the application gets done. If they put it up to something they really don't want to do, and just keep the rotation going. You're being productive in a positive way for the things that are most important. This strategy is just hacking your life for your priorities to get pow, 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 boom, boom, knocking things out. And it's a good tool. It's a tool I used. It's working for me. So, man, I love that one. Use that. Anybody can do any amount of work, provided it isn't the work he is supposed to be doing at that moment. That's what that means, what I just talked about. Anybody can do any amount of work, provided it isn't the amount of work that he is supposed to be doing at that moment. We want to procrastinate. So use procrastination to your advantage rather than letting it put you in a prison. Okay? This is an eighth and a half. So those were 8 ideas I shared when I started at Parkinson's. Another one is the nothing alternative. This is another huge one. The nothing alternative is to do a task or do nothing at all. This is what Eckhart Tolle does when he writes books. This is what Dr. Wayne Dyer does, right? The 2 spiritual leader number 1, spiritual leader number 3 do to write books, and they wrote many books, is they sit down for 4 hours, they time block it, and they have to write the book, okay? And they're going to write in the book. Okay, let's see, I'm going to write in the book today. And as they're writing, nothing might come. They don't get time blocked, though, because if they don't write, they don't do anything else at all. They just sit there, and it's actually a good experience. So it's peaceful. they do nothing. They're comfortable with it. And then the inspiration, the breath of life gets blown through them, and they write, and they produce massively, not only quantity of work, but quality. So that's just enormous. So the nothing, you can do nothing or you do it. Okay? The rest will come from itself. That's the seemingly ease and effortlessness that comes from being on offense, which is another idea I want to talk about. Be on offense. Be proactive. Instead of having these bad things that happen to you in these, the Niagara syndrome where you're falling down Niagara Falls and you hear it, you hear the crashing noise, you've been smoking cigarettes your whole life, and all of a sudden you're getting lung cancer. Be on offense. Start eating healthy. Start getting in the sauna. Start, running. Start drinking the juice. That's being on offense. Okay, start making money now when you don't need it. Do what's difficult when it's easy, Lao Tzu says, the greatest philosopher of all time. So, be on offense. Be in attack mode. You see the best performers? Kobe Bryant, man, he's balling. He's shooting on people. He's dunking on people because he's on attack mode. Okay? The NFL quarterback, same thing. They're just firing when they're on offense. They're not playing it conservative. You can play conservative and be okay and be a winner, but you want to be a champion? Be relentless. Okay? And then there's other strategies. Make it if then, if this happens, then I do that. I do that a lot. So with distractions, everything is discipline. And everything affects everything. All your disciplines affect everything. You start slacking in one area, it's going to affect the other areas. So everything affects everything. So, even with the little stuff, you could be on offense and bring your A game to. And that's going to cause a cascading effect. Positive cascading effect. Therefore, another thing you can do is track yourself. Keeps you accountable. There's tools. And my buddy Julian who's shooting this video right now, he made an awesome video with me where he gave a lot of tools. I'm going to put a link right here of that. So use tools to your advantage. Track. If you're not tracking, you're slacking. And then you can test. If you're not testing, you're guessing. So you can test yourself by tracking. And you set up rewards. And this is just success. You're going to achieve your New Year's resolution if you do this. In fact, it's not even going to be a resolution. If you achieve these resolutions that you set for yourself, it's going to be a New Year's evolution. Because you're going to be a new person by the end of that year. Who do you want to evolve to be? Make sure you're setting up your willpower right. Because you can tax that willpower by things like the radish experiment. So they brought these people who didn't. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. Is this. They brought these people in and they didn't eat for 3 hours. They told them it was a memory test. And they didn't know what it was. And they put these sweet, gooey, smelly, yummy, scrumptious, delicious chocolate chip cookies out. And they all loved them. And they were there, but they weren't for them. They were for another group. But they gave them radishes. So they ate some radishes and they smelled it. They looked at it. They kept glancing over it. They had the camera on them. And some even picked it up, smelled it, some dropped it and put it back. It was hilarious. And what they found was, after that, they gave them a task. And they all quit super early. From those who just ate the cookie. From those who didn't have their willpower taxed. They were less persistent. Because they had to resist. And that resisting is going to cause, what you resist persists, man. It's going to persist, that willpower being gone, draining. And you're going to just give up things earlier. You're just not going to have the energy to do it. You need the glucose. So at the same time, you can do it with awareness, like David Blaine set up little tasks that you can win at. He tries to jump, he's running, and he's going to, every crack is like a point where he steps on a line. And he has these little goals for himself, small goals. So he's underwater for 20 minutes, and he's just focusing on the next 10 seconds. And he achieves that. Boom. He's kind of strengthening his willpower that way. He's building it. He's extending it by doing things like that. So it's a muscle. You're going to be a ripped machine with the willpower. It's going to show up here with your life. Your life's going to be a reflection of it, not so much cosmetically. So let's grow that willpower. Let's strengthen our will, make it a habit, become more aware of your thinking, and direct what you want in life and live the life of your dreams. Write your own ticket in life. Be what you can be. Be the best you can be. And that's what this book is, a guide map to show you how to do that. So that's why it was great. I'm going to end on this. Benjamin Franklin, a lot of great quotes, a lot of great stuff in this book, experiments. This one I loved. Benjamin Franklin, guy on a $100 bill. I did a video about the top 3 quotes from him. But here's a cool little prayer he said every single day. They talked about his values as well in here. The quote is this: Father of light and life, thou good supreme, oh, teach me what is good. Teach me thyself. Save me from folly, vanity, and vice, from low pursuits, and fill my soul with knowledge, conscious peace and virtue pure, sacred, substantial, never fading bliss. That's what Ben Franklin said every day, and look at his life. So the idea, you want to use your willpower to focus on not the things that are fleeting, not the small things in life, not the meaningless stuff in life, but the things that matter the most. Sometimes it's small things with meaningful people. Sometimes it's the big things that are aligned with your purpose, and you want to get congruent on that path. So use willpower to your advantage. Use that power of will. Stay fresh. Stay blessed. Book review next week. We got Dream Giver, and you're going to learn about the hero's journey. Peace.